So Samsung just released two folding phones, and I think Samsung is really putting an interesting strategy into these new phones. We'll get to that in a sec though. Let's just first talk about the differences between this new generation and the previous generation. So of course the Z Fold 3 does have a lot of improvements that you would expect from a next gen flagship. So for instance, it does have the Snapdragon 888 processor. It's a little bit weird they didn't put the Plus processor in, but this could be due to the semiconductor shortage. So in normal day use, none of this would even be noticeable at all. So the improvement is not huge, but that is okay. I think Samsung is not exactly aiming at performance benchmarks, especially since their phones pretty much follow suit with the rest of all of the Android flagships when it comes to performance, since they all use that Snapdragon processor. So there is also a couple other changes. Now there is a 512GB storage option, 16 gigs of RAM is now available, and the battery is slightly smaller now, so it's about 100 milliamp hour battery smaller. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but you're not going to really notice a difference. Also, the new selfie camera, which is under display, and that is probably one of Samsung's biggest things that they use to show off this phone, and I'll get to that a little bit later with Samsung's strategy, so definitely stay tuned for that. But sadly, you do suffer, of course, from some advantages in this phone, and due to that display camera being under the display, it is now 4 megapixels, so really your selfies are going to be trash unless if you use the main camera, which is an option with this phone. So that is a little bit of a bummer, and not all these changes really are advantages. So if you are looking for improvements, you really shouldn't look at the hardware. Of course, you do now get water resistance, but not dust resistance, so do keep that in mind. And that is an improvement, but I feel like people aren't going to be carrying around an $1,800 phone to try to swim with it underwater. So I just don't think that's much of an improvement for most people, although it is nice to be able to splash your phone a little bit, which might be the limit of this phone anyway. If you've been enjoying this video so far, please definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. Anyway, let's get back to the video. So if those are the bonus sides, then what's the downside, since it's just not really amazing improvements? So thankfully there's not a ton of downsides. There is a slightly smaller battery, as I did mention, and a worse selfie cam. But if you are using the main camera as your selfie cam anyway, that might not be much of a downside to you. So now let's get to Samsung's strategy, and really some of the things that they did put in this phone to really improve it. So, was this phone supposed to be sold in mass amounts to the customer? And no, it wasn't. It's meant to show off what Samsung can do with their technology. So, Samsung's obviously capable of now putting under display cameras. We have seen this in a phone before, but it's not that good, and I think Samsung can really improve on it with the budget that they do have. It also shows off Samsung's folding tech, which is now pretty much the best folding tech you can get. It also shows off their camera ability, even though their cameras are not amazing. To be able to fit that in a folding phone is truly incredible. So this is really Samsung flexing and showing off what they can do with their technology. And of course, with this new phone, there's a much better software experience, and that does promote One UI too, and that's really awesome. So it is really just Samsung trying to show people what they can do and kind of encourage people to buy a Samsung phone. It could be kind of like, look at Apple, all they can come out with is a flat screen phone that really doesn't have a ton of cool features. And Samsung's always been about the gimmicks that maybe people wouldn't even use. So I don't know how many units Samsung did manufacture for this phone, but it's probably considerably less than most of their other phones, since this thing is mainly to send out to people so other people can watch and see how cool Samsung is and how well they can make their phones. So I think it is a good strategy. I think it is awesome Samsung is improving on this folding phone technology. Although I bet when companies like Apple come out with their folding phones, it's gonna be much higher quality, and it is gonna really be perfect. Although by then Samsung will probably also have a folding phone that is equally as good or better, since Samsung has had this technology for longer. So one more thing, I just wanted to tell you guys that I will be coming out with videos weekly on Monday, so definitely stay tuned for those, and also check out my podcast. I'll have links down below to my social media platforms, and also the Galaxy Z Fold 3 if you want to check that out. Thanks a ton for watching. Please definitely put some comments down in the comment section. I love to hear you guys' opinion on products and opinion on the video if you want to put that down there too. That's always awesome. I love to hear feedback on just the quality overall and the content. So definitely put some comments down below. Thanks a ton for watching. Catch you later. Cut.